This is Keith Bandit Ball with BikerNet Studios, and we're here live at the Smokeout 12 with Dar Holdsworth, the boss, the president, the chief, the bottle washer of Brass Balls Bobbers.
Delivery guy.
Yeah, and Darwin Motorcycles. What's happening, Darwin? First, we got to ask. Well, we got to tell you, the dress code. The dress code, you're out of code, man.
You kidding? I got a shirt. I got a shirt that matches the paint job.
That's right.
And I've got shoes that match the frame. I mean, I couldn't be any more. I'm the purveyor of style.
Well, tell us about this bike and what happened and how it got started.
Well, this is a project that I worked on with yourself, BikerNet, as well as Jeff Nager from Horsepower Promotions and Horsepower Marketing, and of course the Horse Magazine. The Horse was gracious enough to give us exposure in the magazine over the course of the last 12 months while we built this bike. You were gracious enough to lend your wordsmithing to make the articles really interesting and to tell people what we're doing about the bike. And then we have some great sponsors that came on board to donate product to help make this bike as cool as it is.
Well, tell us about the sponsors. We'll get the plugs out of the way right away.
All right, so we've got Paughco frame, Paughco tapered leg front end, which is just badass. If you can get one, because it looks great and it rides great. Custom chrome came through on several of the components, namely the motor, and the rocker boxes are pan covers. They look really cool. Oh, Paughco also sent the wheels. And then we've got, as we go down, we've got Aeromach for the mirror and the tail light. We've got crime scene choppers for the headlight and the gas cap. J-brake for the controls and the brakes. Let me see, I gotta look this thing over. BDL for the primary. Who might I be forgetting? Oh, the seat. Check this out. Zabec Leather did the seat for me. D&D for the exhaust. Gosh, am I forgetting anybody? I think that's about it. And then, of course, my team for building the bike.
Wire Plus for the
Wire Plus, yes, thank you so much. It's hard to see because it's all we hide the wires, but Wire Plus for the wiring harness and the beautiful black face speedo. Am I forgetting anybody? Oh,
D&D.
D&D, already mentioned D&D.
Okay.
BikerNet for the transmission.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. So, great components from great companies. Go out and buy products from these companies. They work hard to earn your dollar, and it's good stuff. So we built this bike over the last year, little bit by little bit, and we've got it out here, and people are really excited about it.
Well, tell us about the drive out.
In typical bike building fashion, we were up against the deadline, even though we had 12 months to build the bike, and we finished it the morning that we were leaving out. Rode it for about half hour, gave it a shakedown, tightened the chain, threw it in the back of the truck, and headed out. And I drove out here. It was about a 24-hour drive. Around midnight, I stopped for a couple hours. Then I got back to it, only for about an hour because I just hadn't had enough sleep. Stopped for another couple hours, and then drove on through. Got here yesterday right at 5 o'clock, just in time to reveal the bike.
You were just in time, and the bike looks great, and this is the very first sweepstakes bike that the Horse Magazine's ever done.
Well, then it's got to be the best looking one they've ever done.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about Brass Balls and what you're up to.
We store at the core of our business bobbers and choppers that are American and raw and refined and simple and elegant, all that stuff. And we're branching out. We're doing some other things. The FXR inspired bike that we launched last year, the Brawler, has really been well received. So we've got some Brawlers that we're building. We've built an American muscle bike, which is something way outside of our comfort zone. But we did it for Bobby Rahal and David Letterman's race team, where it pays tribute to Bobby Rahal and his storied racing career, and yet we're going to co-brand with them on that bike and raffle it off to support the troops. So we hope to raise a lot of money for Pros for Vets and Steel Anchor, 2 military charities that we're sponsoring on that. Other than that, it's everyday stuff at the shop, building great bikes, we're fortunate enough that people respond to what we're doing, and we have a nice backlog of bikes. And
well, you've really made a concentrated effort to be American made only.
Absolutely. I mean, other than things that, you know, tires, which are German, and Deutsch connectors, which I guess Deutsch is German too. Our bikes are as American as they can be. Everything from the frame and the wheels and the powertrain, you know, SNS and Baker and BDL and Ride Right wheels, Willwood brakes, J-brake hand controls, all the way down, wire plus wire harness. We're very excited to announce 2 new partnerships with 2 new really great American companies. They're not new, but it's new to us. All of our bikes now will come standard with a 3 guys custom Springer, which is American. That was kind of the last piece of the puzzle for us on our bikes. So the 3 guys Springer is now going to be standard on all of our bikes. So we are completely American. And then also, I mean, who hasn't been stuck on the side of the road with a battery? Ironically, this bike has a dead battery from our old supplier. Just last week, we signed an agreement with Braille Batteries. Braille, the racing company, race batteries. And they're in Indy cars, they're in American Le Mans cars. They take high heat, high temperatures, high vibrations, and they kick ass. And they've got super high cranking amps. So I think the cranking amp motorcycle battery that we'll be putting in our bikes is like 420 or 480 cranking amps. It's huge. And so we're not going to have dead batteries anymore. But you know, another example of us really stretching to have a performance-based component that's an American company.
Well, you're about the last production motorcycle, custom motorcycle make around.
Really?
I think.
Wow.
I mean, think about it. I don't know of anybody else that's still around.
Wow. Well, yeah. We're grateful that we're still around. And you know, it's been peanut butter and jelly for the last 2-3 years, and we're fine with that. We've just done everything we can to minimize our expenses, to keep overhead as low as possible, to make really smart partnership decisions and partner with good vendors, really good vendors that have been flexible with us, and really good suppliers of machinery and tools like Summit Machine and Miller Welding. And we actually have a new partnership with Rousseau. Rousseau's a toolbox supplier. You know, so we're creative, and we don't compromise on the bikes, and you know, I think that's helped us.
Well, in this economy, it's mandatory to be creative.
Now, I have to say we compromise on our margins, which, you know, personally affects us, but I think if you look at things over the long haul, and we're in it for the long haul, that, you know, this is not the time to be too arrogant or naive enough to think that because we use only the best products that our bikes are the best and they should command the highest price. You have to be smart about how you price things to stay in it for the long term. And so, you know, when people buy a bike from us, I can assure you they're getting a fantastic deal. They're getting a great bike at a really good price.
So is this your first smokeout, or
no?
How
This
many?
is my 4th smokeout.
So are you looking forward to coming out here?
Next time I'd like to be in the passenger seat. Actually, next time I'd like to ride the bike. Last year I did the long road.
Oh.
So it was more enjoyable last year. This year I finished the bike, I put it in the back of the truck, and I drove out
and
looking at the bike in the back of the truck.
And hauled ass.
And hauled ass.
Well, it's great to see you. It's great to see this bike out here. It's I think it's a fantastic new program for the horse guys, and I think it's a great bike to start that program with. Well, congratulations.
All right, Keith, thank you so much.
You bet.
All right.